Rise and shine.
Hi. What's up? What's up, homie? It's me again.
I want to start this right away by saying I don't like you wearing that blazer. And I don't like it for multiple reasons. One, I don't like he's trying to better himself and look nice. Two, more importantly, to me, it says he's trying to look smart because he's gonna come with some bullshit. That's what I feel like. Is I gotta wear the glasses and I gotta wear a blazer. So when I talk about some bullshit, people think I know what I'm talking about.
The key to comedy is juxtaposition. You know, you really gotta have both things working. You know, it's that contrast that really makes things fun.
You son of a bitch. You better tread lightly, Keith.
Council Pop.
One battle after another. Keith, the movie of the moment 15 minutes ago. we were a little bit behind, but that's all right.
Can you still say it's the movie of the year? I feel like it is, regardless of either of our opinions. I feel like it is the movie of the year. It feels Oppenheimer-esque just in terms of the zeitgeist.
Well, that's an interesting thing to talk about, which I'm sure we will, because I don't know. I feel, we might think it should, or, it may end up being in hindsight, but I certainly don't think it has the energy of like the Oppenheimer, it didn't make $1 billion, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily the pop culture behemoth that Oppenheimer was, but.
The money is not there. Maybe we shouldn't start here, but the money is not there, but the conversation, at least from my small view.
At least for us
like
right now. Yes.
The social chatter.
Yes.
So let's, where would you like to start?
It's a council pop, baby. And we're a little bit late, but it's a council pop, so I need 60 seconds on the clock. I'll go first.
Good.
Yes.
Good. That's better.
we know. I have a terrible feeling. Okay, 60 seconds on the clock. I loved this movie. In a way that is unlike most experiences I've had ever. Like, I wouldn't say recently, I would just say ever. We went and saw this in the theater, went and saw it in IMAX. We drove 2 hours away to see it in the closest IMAX theater, and just walked out of there like vibrating at a different frequency. And I really mean that. I'm not just saying bullshit. It's like this movie, while I do love it, and I do think it's great, I'm not gonna argue it's perfect, but that aside, the movie itself, like the breadth of the filmmaking, the direction, the performances, the fucking vibes, the energy, like it transported me away into a world, like this is what film watching should be. And to me, that these experiences are so few and far between on this grand of a scale with this much talent and impact and thought-provoking, subject matter, all that stuff. It's an incredible film. It's the best film of the year. It's the best time I've had going to a movie in ages, a decade. You know what I mean? Like it's a fantastic film.
Are we done?
Yeah, well, no. We are just getting started. Keith, 60 seconds on the clock.
Keith Macri would pencil this movie in for 3 Oscars today, right now. I think this movie is, I'm nervous about using the word perfect. But one, I love the movie. I absolutely love the movie. I think it is perfect. I always think of the climate. I think of the situation that we are in from a movie standpoint and how this movie sort of reflects that or counters against it, and all of those sort of outside things looking in from the business standpoint. And I go, after I watched this movie and I sort of sat with it for a second, I feel like this is the movie that everybody wins. Everybody wins. I think there are things here for the general audience just to enjoy a movie. And there are things for the film lovers to grab onto, and the craft that you can really sink your teeth into and just like experience a second level of talent but sort of behind the surface level. And I go, this is what big movies should be. This is the win-win for everybody. I loved it because for the layperson, it's the most expensive and beautiful episode of Maury ever.
Deshaun, you are not.
Like, that's what it is. Like, that's for the general audience. It's just like a dad saving his daughter. Is he the father? Is he not? Like, perfect surface level nonsense for people to just be like, yeah, that sounds like a fun ride. That sounds like an interesting thing I'll just generally watch. But underneath it, behind it, is filmmaking at its best. And again, I would guarantee 3 Oscars at minimum after leaving that theater. I go, that's I can give you the 3 Oscars it should win. No questions about it because Keith Macri said so. And maybe more. I'm not saying it's limited to, but I would guarantee if I could. So I think it's great, and I'd love to get into more about it.
Wonderful. Well, that makes me so happy, Keith. I was sure you were going to be like, I mean, it's pretty good, but I mean, it's overrated. So this just makes me so happy.
Good.
Whew. What
Let's
Oscars?
start there.
I mean, don't leave the people hanging. What Oscars are you guaranteeing? I hope you're right. Because famously, my guy PTA empty-handed this whole time, which is a crime.
I feel like you're already gonna, and people at home are already gonna be angry at these picks somehow. But it's like 3 Oscars, not enough, not the right ones.
You're like set design.
yes, sound mixing.
Only the sexiest.
I think it should win Best Picture. I think it wins Best Picture. Best Picture. I give it Best Screenplay, and I give Sean Penn Supporting Actor. Those are the 3 that I love, and I knew it. I knew it when I said it.
We need the PTA guarantee, Keith.
I don't think it wins Best Director. I don't immediately give it. Sorry, let me rephrase here. I don't immediately give it Best Director. I don't immediately. I'm not saying it shouldn't.
Now we're fighting.
There we go.
Now,
we had to fight something.
Now I'm pissed. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm excited, and I want to hear more about what you loved about it. Because, again, I was expecting the inverse opinion. So, you saw it
I went in expecting to hate it.
Well, I'm sure you went into it since you saw it just in the last couple of days, and it's been out now for a month plus, like a month, 5-6 weeks. Like, it's a little later in this cycle. So I feel like I know that I was heaping praise. Like, you had to feel pretty hyped up about it. So it makes me happy that you probably went in with kind of high expectations and they were met.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Again, from the internet, everything I'm seeing, from the film folks that I'm friends with, that I talk to, yourself included, like, everyone says it's like the word masterpiece felt so just like thrown out there so liberally. And it made me go, now, can't be. I don't want to. So I kind of went in like this. And then eventually go, yeah, no, you guys are right.
It's fucking great.
It's fucking great. It's great on a lot of different levels. So.
Yeah. So for anyone who's, under a rock, one battle after another, Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, Benicio Del Toro, Chase Infiniti, Sean Penn, quite memorably. Great cast, written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who is my favorite living director. Boogie Nights, fans of the show will know, is my favorite film of all time. High expectations for this one. I'm so glad that, I thought you brought up a good point that it's like, I think certainly of PTA's last 10 years, 15 years, this is his most like accessible film. It has the most like appealing storyline probably to a wider audience that can go and just enjoy it. But then you're also getting this great 70s style kind of like thriller that's directed by a modern master. My biggest takeaway, I think I told you after I saw it, like we never like to spoil what each other thinks about films before we talk about them on here. But I think I told you that I walked out of that theater and I was like kind of emotional. But it wasn't really even necessarily because of the content of the film. It was just that like the energy in that theater, which wasn't even full, we saw it like at a matinee and it was mostly like an older generation that was there. But it was just like, you can just tell everyone is like, whoa. And we walked out into the lobby, and this older woman who's probably in her 60s, maybe even older, was just like out of breath, like physically out of breath, and she turned to her friends that she was with, and she was like, I feel like I just went on a trip. And I was like, yes, you did, girl. Like it is incredible. And I always talk on the broken record about wanting films to transport me to a new place and take me away. And I just really feel like this film, stylistically, it gets so much from the 70s, but I felt a lot of like I thought of E.T. a lot. There was like a Spielbergian element to this of just like, it all feels so natural and real, and these overused words like, lived in and familiar. Like the world is so tangible, and these characters feel so real, and everything and it's just not shot in a overly gaudy way. Like it really puts me there. And then it's over, and you're like, whoa. And that's incredible. And that's what movies should do. And that's why I got emotional. Is like movies at their highest level. Like it reminded me of why this is my shit, why this is my favorite art form. Other things can't do that to me.
Yeah. It has I thought of Blue Valentine a bit after on my drive home, just because we had talked about it. There's parts of it that feels very documentary. It feels like very loose on the production. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not even saying, but that's how it feels. That's how it resonates. It feels like very raw, very organic. Feels dirty in a good way. I mean, like just like lived in, to be more cliche about it. But yeah, that has when done right, that has a real charm to it. That less polished, less produced. Just noticing the film grain so much. So like just again, just feeling dirty. There was one shot in particular that I didn't like. Because that's bad, right? But it fits within the aesthetic of what I'm talking about, and I think what you're talking about too. Towards the end of the film, there's a camera mounted on the car door when the young girl is trying to get away, like towards the end, and 90% of the frame is just blown out. Is blown out, and she shuts the door. It's a cool shot.
Yeah. I know what you're
and then
talking about.
it comes into where normal sort of exposure levels would be.
Yeah.
And I was just like off put, and I go, that doesn't like it caught me off guard. But that fits the aesthetic of the film. It's not perfect. It's not polished. It's gritty. It's real. It feels more tangible. And that was just a big example of like, oh no, that works here.
Yeah.
In a different film, I would kill it. I would just be like, fuck you guys for putting the time and the effort to figure out how to properly expose that. But that's not the vibe of this film.
Totally.
So great.
Totally. I do, I also felt just so, I felt the full spectrum of emotion while watching this film, which I also really love. And I think that, great films or even films that are aspiring to be pretty good should do, which is like, man, I'm laughing. There's genuinely really funny parts, and then it's intense and it's scary, and I feel the excitement and inspiration and revulsion, and it's just this whole. And I think that's part of what it's like. It's a real journey. That's why that old lady was like, I just went on a trip, because in your mind you're feeling every. And that, like I said, that's what films should do. So it was so refreshing and overwhelming in a good way. We saw it at the IMAX theater, and then we went to see it again a second time in the theater. And I've heard that they're going to re-release it in December, potentially in theaters. And I really want to go try to see it in VistaVision, which, the format in which it was shot. I think that would be really, really cool. We'll probably have to take a long trip, but we'll do it. This is, it feels very like, once in a lifetime is probably a little too dramatic, but it's very special. Like it's a special experience.
Moment.
If you have the opportunity to see it in the theater in particular, I want to talk about some of the specific reasons why, but it's really great.
Yeah, it's great.
What was your favorite thing about it? Gun to your head. What's the best part about the movie?
The best thing about this movie, I think, is from like a filmmaking standpoint, it is paced so incredibly well. And I think it does that because of the old adage of like showing and not telling. I think the beginning of this movie accomplishes so much backstory. It's like borders on the line of montage to when the girl turns 16. but you don't miss anything. I don't even know how much dialogue is really in that first act, let's call it.
Yeah, 15,
like
20
when she
minutes.
turned 16. I almost felt like the title card should come in when she turned 16.
I
Like,
thought that too. I wanted that too.
You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's, and I was so wildly impressed of how much I got from it without being like hit over the head with it, of just like, this is the motivation of this, and this is who exactly with this person. But you just get it. It shows, and it doesn't tell in the most perfect way of filmmaking, and it just moves, and and there's an energy and a pace and a rhythm, a cadence to it that is, I was like ready to, like, when that moment comes out, I'm like, I'm like, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Like, now let's get into it in a way that I feel like other films I could be bored. Be like, Jesus, there's like homework. I gotta know all these things and feel all these, and not this movie. The best example of it, and I feel like a lesser film, and I thought about this on my drive home. I go, a shitty film makes that first, again, act done in like news coverage, where they could just lay it on. Oh, the reports of the rebellion happening over here.
Yeah.
There's this person, a wanted picture of Jungle Pussy, and just literally telling me what the fuck is going on. And I admire and am impressed with how much I get from it without that crutch of news clippings and headlines to catch you up to speed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Likewise, what's the movie? What thing stands out to you?
Honestly, it goes hand in hand with pacing. It's the pace master. It's the director. I think the direction of this film really leaps out to me in the best possible way. Like, obviously, I've said he's my favorite working director, so I might seem biased, but I didn't love Licorice Pizza. I only watched that once. That was his last movie. I was kind of like, I didn't really get it. And then, I loved Phantom Thread, but I didn't really love Inherent Vice. I've given that one a couple of tries, and I can't really get into it. So I'm not going to just be like, oh, I love everything he does. He's a genius at everything. Like, I mean, I'm sure he is a genius, but like, it's not all for me. But this movie felt so, I mean, when we're talking about how fantastic it feels and the energy and the way everything is conducted, I mean, it all comes back to him. One of my biggest takeaways from this movie is, and I'll just say, whatever, we'll just get to it. We're talking. The car chase scene at the end, right? Like, that's one of the most...
I knew that would be your favorite part, if I had to guess.
One of the most memorable sequences, certainly of the film, and I think that, in recent memory for sure. And I love it for a million different reasons. When the three cars are just going up and down hills. And I love it because it's a car chase that is three cars driving in a straight line. and it's just music and camera. And it's so much more intense and impactful and emotional and exciting and scary than any other car chase of any Fast and the Furious movie, like any big, and he jumped from a train and landed on the car. Like, that's gonna be more exciting. No. This is three cars in a straight line in a desert. And it's so...
They go up and down.
Yeah, they go up and down. But what he does with those lenses, like being ground level and just that pulling focus and altering your perspective, like you feel in your gut like you're on a roller coaster. And I don't remember ever feeling anything like that. And I thought, I don't remember ever seeing anything like this. And that to me is more of that magic of incredible filmmaking, is you can have a guy, Paul Thomas Anderson, do something that's you've never seen before just with lenses. It's not special effects. It's not fucking AI. It's just like how he's gonna choose what lenses he's gonna use and how he's gonna shoot this. And like, that is so inspiring. Like that is beyond powerful. And I love that so much. So it all comes back to the direction for me that someone like me, a jaded fucking cynic, could leave a theater and be like, oh my God, I want to make movies again. Like, I feel like you know what I mean? Like, I need to get behind a camera now. Like, I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah. And I'll take it a step further, because I visually very impressive. I don't disagree. It's great. But the thing that stood out to me as a firm believer in that whatever craft happens within a film needs to be warranted by the story you're trying to tell. And that part leads the audience so well. One, it builds incredible tension. It creates a sense of like mystery. Just it's almost like Jaws popping out of the water. It's like there's the fin and there it's gone, like that kind of energy to it. So not only provides great suspense for that, but also it lays credence to where she could have come up with this idea to stop behind, just out of sight from the hills, from that camera movement showing you things are appearing and reappearing and disappear, like that. You could see the logic within. It's not just like she pulled a harebrained scheme out of her ass. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
The camera work is telling you where these thoughts could be inspired by, how she could get to this, because it's a long sequence. It's not one time.
Yeah.
It's minutes long. It's not short.
Yeah.
So you can see the thought wheels turning and how someone could get to that conclusion based on that rhythmic movements that are happening.
100%. That's a
Perfect
great
for
point.
the story. The cinematography, perfect for the story that is unfolding. That's brilliance to me. That's brilliance.
Yeah, that's a great observation. That visual, you're telling the story, you're showing, not telling, and you're not even, you're literally just, that's great. I'm not going to repeat what you said. Keith nailed it.
Please do.
let me just regurgitate that as my own thought. I like it. Yes, and then the score, obviously, that's where I think I'm interested. Like, I'm confident Paul Thomas Anderson will be nominated for Best Director. I really obviously hope this is his first win. I think it could well be. I'm sure there's people that feel like I feel about it, that we're just juiced. I think the score, to come back to your Oscar theme, I think the score will probably be nominated. It was such a character. It was so unique and interesting. Jonny Greenwood of Radiohead. It might be a little too minimalist for, sometimes those don't do quite as well, even if it was the most impactful. It doesn't necessarily make it the most grand. You didn't love it?
It was minimalist. It was a little repetitive.
Okay, all right.
It felt a little bit, but I did like it.
Yeah. All right. We'll let that one slide.
Great segue into, I do have some cons. I would like to
We're
criticize
already
this
going to
movie at some
cons?
point.
All right.
No. It's a tease. It's a tease
little
for those
tease.
at home. I have some things that I would love to destroy.
I felt like destroying something beautiful.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to destroy. Very minimal. Some nitpicks, if you will.
Well, yeah, let's wrap up then with our overly glowing praise, our effusive praise. The two things I'd want to touch on, segueing from our just recent conversation about the direction, is I also love the direction because I feel like in some ways it's a little restrained. Like it's not trying too hard, whereas PTA Younger, Boogie Nights, my favorite movie, that's like he's doing everything. He's trying everything. And I think I used the expression in our Boogie Nights episode. It's such like flexy, fuck you filmmaking. And I love that. I love that. He's 26 years old. He's just like doing it all. And everything, you can feel what he's doing. And in this movie, I feel like a lot of it feels, like you're saying, organic and natural. So you don't really feel a heavy hand of a director.
Yes.
Until those moments that it really helps and you really want to feel the intentionality. And I think there's a lot of really beautiful shots in here. I think the cinematography is really beautiful in that way that's not like trying to be beautiful, which is also very beautiful. Like I think of one of my favorite films, so I'm not insulting this movie at all, but one of my favorite films of this century is Sicario, which is a Roger Deakins, and the cinematography is incredible. It's just like every shot is a masterpiece. But you can tell that like they're trying to make every shot a masterpiece, and it's like this is great.
Yeah.
There's a great shot of these these law enforcement walking through a meadow at sunrise, and it's just like it's incredible. But you're like, wow, they felt good about that shot.
But this is I agree with you, and good for him for. I love it for this reason. It feels appropriate for the film, for the story, for what this film is trying to accomplish, my perception of what this film is trying to accomplish. It shouldn't be flashy. It shouldn't be overly produced and all those things. But I think for that reason, I don't think he win. Like, that's why I don't immediately go win. Best director, win. Best picture, 100% that we should stop making movies the rest of the year. Fuck it. It's over. Like 100%.
I hope
but
so.
because of what you're saying, I feel like that's the problem. He fell on his own sword, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he should win Best Director, obviously, but like, I've thought that about just about every movie he's made. So it's clearly, and I feel the same way about Leo. I want to talk about the performances before we transition out of positives. I mean, I think all of the performances are very, very good. I guess I'm a huge Leonardo DiCaprio fan now. I never really identified as such, but like I just respect him for. He's just always he's doing such interesting stuff, and especially in this like latter part of his career. I just love the work that he does. I think he's so much fun. I think he's so funny and believable. He's phenomenal. Obviously, Sean Penn is like, love to see Sean Penn. I told my wife, I said, it's just so nice to see Sean Penn in like a movie that matters again. Because he's like, he's kind of a, he's a character, and I know he's, he goes in and out of fashion, but like, he is an undeniably like generational talent. And so I just love getting to see him put it all out there.
He is fantastic. Like, he is fantastic. I gravitate more towards villains, for lack of a better way to say it, for this movie. But like, he was great. You need the proper conflict, the proper villain, the thing to overcome. And he is that. I think he was pitch perfect. I think he deserves an Oscar for the performance and an MTV Movie Award for just the walk alone. The walk is fantastic.
Yeah.
This like proper
Popeye. He's like Popeye.
It is just like fan-fucking-tastic. I just love it. I absolutely love his performance in this. I think he's great. He's great to root against. He's easy to hate. It's great. It's great fun. He provides great fun. This is going to be my hottest take. So I don't know if you
dive right in. The water's boiling.
the water is scorching. Let me preface what I'm about to say by...
This is exciting.
Leonardo DiCaprio is top 5 actor of all time without thinking about it. Don't give me your face. I'm trying to not get murdered right now. I'm trying to not get assassinated in these comments.
He's certainly not one of the top 5 best actors of all time. You're overcorrecting.
You don't think so? You wouldn't put him in, where would you? Now this is a new conversation.
Yeah.
I believe, without thinking about it too hard, I think top 5.
I disagree.
You don't think top 5?
No, yeah. Just not instinctively. I mean, I'd say just out of respect.
10? Where instinctively would
I'd
you?
just say he's like top 20. He's probably top 20. But like,
oh, that's blasphemous.
Daniel Day, Denzel. These are just 2 guys recently. Tom Hanks. We're not even going back to like
Brando,
Gene Hackman,
Nicholson,
Sidney Poitier, like
Sidney
all over.
Right, I got him at 7. All
right.
Quickly,
make
off the
your
top of my
point.
head.
Hate on him.
My point is the strengths that he has as an actor. One of the strengths that he has is this sort of gravity that he brings to every single role. This level of intensity, this level of urgency, this weight that sort of underlines all of his performance. He doesn't like say it, but you feel it through his performance. A real strength. I think he does it in most, if not all, of his roles. And I think that strength of his is at odds of how I interpret what this character or who this character should be. He's a burnout. He's a back player thrust into the front lines now, where he's got to take action. He doesn't remember chunks of his life because he's been doing drugs or whatever. He reminds me, I think of him more as like what the dude. It's a bad
there's dude vibes.
analogy,
No, there's dude
probably.
vibes.
But he's more of like the dude, and but he still brings that level of intensity to everything he does. And I go, I don't know, maybe he's not 100% perfect for this role. Although I do like what he does, and I like his performance, and I enjoy the movie absolutely because of him. But it's just something I notice, and I just want to throw that out there to see if maybe I'm insane, or if someone out there agrees with me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't agree with you personally. I think, because what I would say, and to, try to refute what you said is like, yes, he does often have like that simmering under the surface energy that comes out, and a lot of his more recent roles especially are kind of bank on a lot of that explosiveness that like he kind of erupts.
You're sitting there like a fucking baboon. I hate fucking whiskey, so I couldn't stop at fucking 3 or 4, right?
But like that makes sense to me for this character, because even though he is now today past his prime, a burnout stoner, kind of melted, he at one time 30 years ago was a bomb maker for like an ultra revolutionary group. So it would be safe to presume that even if he's always been kind of like soft spoken, that he has some sort of like fire and rage in him if he's willing to participate in said explosions. So I think he nails. I mean, I think your point is valid in just the sense that it's a feeling that someone can have. And I don't want to poo-poo your feelings, Keith. But I think he's just so good and very funny. Very, very.
Oh yeah.
Very
funny. The
funny.
movie is hilarious. like that's I laughed maybe too much.
Yeah. He has some deliveries that are just like not even the obvious stuff on the phone, because all that stuff's great when he's arguing with Comrade Josh, Comrade Joshua.
Yeah.
But just like when he's in the principal's office at the kid's school and he's just like looking like, you got all the greats up there, like just fucking rambling about presidents. He's like, fucking slave owner. Like a lot of fucking slave owners are like all that. Almost everything he says is like, yep.
Yeah. You teaching the right history? You teaching the right, it's great.
His interactions obviously with Benicio. I mean, Benicio is it's so wonderful that someone can come in and be such comic relief, but not in like a shitty, overtly cartoonish way. It's all within the bounds of like real people, but it's so funny. When Leo is like, life. He's just spiraling out of control, and it's so much fun to watch. We've been quoting that all the time. My wife and I were yelling life at each other. It's so good.
Benicio is my second favorite character.
Yeah,
I like Sean Penn.
Let's go supporting actor for both of them. I want nominations for both of them.
He's fantastic. He really is a delight. His calm, cool nature is like he knows exactly what he's doing. He's never ruffled, and his just delivery of that sort of dryness and that confidence and his ability to execute is fantastic. He's just I love when he was like kind of dancing at the end or doing the straight. And he just knows exactly what he's doing and having fun, not threatened by anything.
Yeah,
I fucking love him.
Have you been drinking today? A few what?
A
few small beers. Like that's an iconic line forever. It's so great.
Yeah.
So So as we're and everyone else is great too. I was impressed with Chase Infiniti, who I not familiar with. I think this is her first role. Thought she did really good. The first time I saw it, I was kind of like, who's this? And the second time I saw it, I was like, she's killing it. So impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yes. Everybody is great.
Yeah.
Leo's my least favorite, probably. But I think he's also, but that bar is very high. That bar is very high. So he's a B plus in my opinion, and everybody else is at an A in my.
I'll expect a nomination for Leo, but he like Paul Thomas Anderson. I mean, Leo's won once, but he's famously overlooked, so you can't bank that in. Yeah. So as we wrap up the heaping praise, my overarching point maybe I want made, and we can talk more about the specifics of this after you shit all over it, but I think it has to be so you have to be somewhat disingenuous to just be like, this movie sucks. Because to me, if we're not gonna come together and celebrate and reward this sort of effort, this sort of quality, this big of a fucking accomplishment, and we're looking to nitpick shit and be like, well, actually, it's not that good. Actually, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because there is some of that out there where it's just like, oh, well, this person's trying to make something great and everyone says it's great, so I don't like it, but I like Godzilla versus Kong because it's dumb fun, and I fucking can't stand that. So we'll get back to the response to it maybe.
we can get back. I do want to say one more positive before we get to some of the negatives. And we just touched on it. I mean, the comedy, it's so funny. I think it is just, I don't know if I was supposed to laugh as much as I did.
You were.
And it is, I don't know if there's a better way to describe white supremacy than the Christmas Adventure Club. It's fucking brilliant. Like it is. I dream of being that intelligent and that witty and that clever. All of those conversations, all between the adventure at Christmas, like all of that dialogue.
You have dreamed being witty enough to write it, right? To write it.
Yeah, not to be in it. Let me be clear.
Let's clarify. I dream of being that genius like those white supremacists.
No. The writing ability of Paul Thomas Anderson to be that, to toe that line, because the brilliance of it lies within the razor thin line of being funny, but not so much, not so overt, where it becomes like Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
And it's just like overtly over the top, these fucking moron bumbling idiots. Look how dumb they are.
Yes.
Being funny, and then, but not being so dry that it's like heavy-handed. Where now preaching, where it was like, that to me is so thin, and it's perfect. It's like, I just think it's so witty and intelligent, the writing specifically, not the characters and what they're trying to do.
Yes.
I think a lot of that, and then maybe this is very specific to me, but having Jim Downey in the Christmas Adventure Club.
Yes, glad you brought it up.
He does a great job. I think he does a great performance, but just his attitude and knowing him and his history in comedy just makes it so much more palatable and like lets me know the vibe and the tone without even having to go too far over. Yeah. I think the casting there is perfect. Like, for those who don't know who Jim Downey is he's a legendary writer, the longest tenured SNL writer.
Got a new documentary coming out about him right now.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Yeah, go check out the documentary and you'll learn all about his contributions to comedy. Maybe most famously, everyone in this room is now dumber.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Bringing up James Downey is great. Tony Goldwyn is one of the head scumbags there. The great character actor, longtime Kevin Tighe. Paul Thomas Anderson does a thing. Tarantino does this too, where you bring back actors that are familiar from other like kind of like iconic things that from your memory. You're like, oh, like those great that guy moments. And one of the things I also want to shout out is the actor Eric Schweig, who is the indigenous guy, the bounty hunter, who then goes back in and takes out those 1776 guys. That guy I haven't seen since The Last of the Mohicans, where he's like the strapping young brother, of Daniel Day, adopted brother of Daniel Day-Lewis's character. And he's in that great sequence at the end where he and the blonde gal are in love and he's fighting for her. And God, I was just like, but it's like that does this great by that kind of casting. It's not like he's doing that specifically for me, but for people who love movies and who love that kind of movie, like that aids in that nostalgia. It's like a subconscious nostalgia to put in these faces that you're going to be like, oh, that's that guy from Roadhouse, the first one. Oh, and that's that guy from last, because they're just a familiarity there. And that helps so much with the overall energy of the film. I think that's really undervalued.
Casting as a whole, I think, is a little bit undervalued, generally speaking. It really can make or break a film.
It speaks to your point about, our point, because I think I made it better, but the Hills, the Hills telling the natural story, of like the visual storytelling that's using another part of the filmmaking apparatus to tell your story or create a vibe or an energy. And that's what casting can do here. Last shout out to the actress Tisha Sloan, who played the teacher, the principal. the woman in that scene, that one scene. I thought she was great. And both times I watched the movie, I was like, this lady is killing it and is really like going toe to toe with Leo in this scene and is just pitch perfect. So good job, Tisha. I was impressed. It was really, really great.
Great job.
All right, Keith. What didn't you like about it? I got one.
It's really, I have like two things somewhat connected, but also a little separate. Sean Penn, spoilers, Sean Penn seemingly dead and then lives walking with a hole in his head and walking through the desert and then getting to the Christmas Adventure Club headquarters again. I wouldn't change the end. I thought about this. I wouldn't just be like, no, he dies in the desert. I like the end how it is, but it just seems so conclusive that it was like, oh, he has to be. Two people checked on him. He was shot in the face. His car flipped over and and then to just see him get up and walk, just walking away out of seemingly nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that was too much of a rug pull where I kind of threw my hands up a bit and I go, oh, okay, so nothing mattered. Like, what did I just see?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is so grounded to this point, and now he's just alive. So I just wish it was more, they shot the tires out, the car flips over, he doesn't go to check on him, Leo doesn't find him dead, and the audience can just wonder a bit more, and then he just shows up and it's more plausible that he's alive. That felt a little too final for me to wrap my arms around it.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. The first time, especially that I saw the film, that is definitely the most jarring moment. And for when it there's a hard cut to him doing his walk, holding the gun, blood, and it's so the details of what happened there, I can buy. I can buy that he was shot with, let's say, bird shot, and it just fucked him up real bad, and he crashed and he survived, and no one did a kill shot in the head, which I'm whispering the whole time. I'm always like, fucking make sure he's dead, So I can buy all the specifics, but that cut is there to be kind of funny. You know what I mean? To be kind of oh, what? And there was half of a second when the first time I saw it where I was like, oh God, don't lose me now. I thought that's
exactly what I felt.
Yeah, and then it brings it back, and you're like, okay. But that almost is a moment of just a little. It's almost too much. It's fun, but it's almost too much. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, I just pull it back this much, just a smidge.
You were what would be fun here is if we got that walk. And points can be made, right? There could be people yelling it's the metaphor that, evil can only be taken out by other evil, evil never die. Oh, sure. I don't think either of us are disagreeing with him surviving that.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it was a little bit of style. He added a little bit of flair there that was not quite as organic. So I get you. What else?
I would have liked a little bit more insight into why Sean Penn needed to be part of the Christmas Adventure Club. Why that was important to him. I feel like that part was a little glossed over, and he is going to the most lengths to make this happen. And I can get some level of it's who he is, and he's just evil for the sake of I get it. But with all the other detail that's in this movie, it feels like, from a character standpoint. Now, let me be very clear. I don't want an explanation as to what their bigger goal is, or even what the rebellion's bigger goal. Those stories are just there to serve purpose for the characters. They're vehicles for the characters to ride. This is a very character-driven story. It's a small story within a much bigger thing that's happening to the world. The right way to do it. I think it's fantastic. So I don't need to know the objectives of everything. Just why him? Why would he sacrifice everything? He's a decorated, war veteran or hero or a military man, prestigious. Why? Why does he need this and to go to such lengths to get it? I just wish I had that piece of information. It would make him feel a little more well-rounded.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I feel like I got that.
Of course.
I feel like to what you said, he's like clearly like a racist, evil piece of shit, and those guys in that room and that club are clearly racist, evil pieces of shit. And as Sean Penn continues to like spiral out over this, he yells while he's, you know, assaulting his daughter, like, I'm a superior class of man. I'm supposed to be there. Like, so that gives me enough to just be like, what his level of success outside of that doesn't satisfy him, because there's always that group of the ultra exclusive, like the pitch that Tony Goldwyn gives him, like, you're better than, you know, you're more than if you're one of us. And that, you can see how that would appeal to like a small, shitty guy like him. Yeah. So that's enough.
No, you're right. Yeah, I hear you. And I remember that line of dialogue sticking out. Like, I have a higher calling or a higher purpose. Or so yes. I just wanted it a little bit earlier so I can go along. So I can buy all of it as he's doing it. Nitpick, don't kill me. Just a thought I had. Shut up.
Well, I feel like my complaint's bigger than both of yours.
Great. What is it?
I think it sucks. I hate this movie. In short, I feel like everything just wraps up so neatly. And that was kind of hard for me, where it's like, at the end of the day, it's nice to have kind of a satisfying conclusion to a story. You know what I mean? Like, I don't always need it to be ambiguous, or is it good or is it bad? Like, it's nice to have kind of a happy ending. Like this is a very interestingly, we can talk about themes later, but it's like a hopeful film. It's like hope for the future in a way. So that's great. I get that. But just like logically, there's still these little voices in my head that are like, man, there's a lot of dead bodies out there on that road. And there's a lot of fingerprints. There's a lot of paper trails that are, that Leo and his daughter just moved back into that same house, right? That's what it seems like. They're in the same place, and they're just like, life's good now. I was like, well, what about that other piece of shit that was like Sean Penn's right-hand man who was like grilling the teenagers and stuff? That guy's still out there. We're just meant to believe that everybody just kind of like drops it. And that was a little hard for me. It just wrapped up a little neatly. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the film, but I wonder if there's folks out there that can tell me, oh no, it's actually there. It makes sense.
I kept saying in my head, the reason why I was okay with what you were saying and didn't jump out to me as a big problem, because I kept saying in my head, Tiana Taylor's going to show up at the end. And I go, please don't have her show up in the end. I didn't want her to show up in the end. I didn't want there to be that moment where everyone's like, mommy's back and everything's fine.
Yeah.
And I felt that coming. And I was like, please don't do it. Please don't. And they didn't. They got the letter. And I said, fine.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at letter.
Yeah.
Because I think I would have hated this movie had they made it that neat and tidy. And I sort of made a mental deal and be like, all right, fine. You didn't do what I would have hated.
Yeah.
I'll accept how this sort of wraps up then. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's the emotional journey I went on.
Yeah, no, I get that.
As I watched it.
All right, so what do you want to talk about now? We could talk about why isn't this film doing as well as we would think it deserves, and maybe what is there not to like about it from the outside perspective? What themes? What do you like? What's your poison?
Let's start why it's not doing well. We should say that it's, I believe, going to lose $100 million, a little over $100 million.
It's there's differing accounts because it said the budget is 150-ish.
Yep.
But it's made internationally like 190-ish as of the last time I read. But then they add in another 150-ish for marketing and everything else. Yeah. So but some people say it actually wasn't that much that the marketing. So it's about even. Warner Brothers is going to think of it as sort of like breaking even. But no matter what, it's not a runaway success. It's not the greatest director going success with the greatest actor going with a big fun movie didn't do what we would have wanted it to do. Yeah.
So why do you think that is? I don't have any hard stances. I have thoughts.
I have several.
I'll ask you.
I have nothing but hard stances and thoughts. I think, there's a two-part answer. The answer as to why I don't think it's done well plays into the second answer. But the short answer is, I don't think the marketing was great. I don't think the trailers were great, and I don't think the overall marketing push was all that great. So that's A. B is we live in the shittiest timeline, in the shittiest political climate ever. And I think that a big part of this is, oh, idiots think this is like woke. And so a lot of folks aren't going to go see it or didn't go see it because they read somewhere or they saw on their favorite propaganda network that this is leftist. It's like pro-leftism. And I think that's really stupid because I don't think that this film is particularly heavy-handed in most of that stuff. Like its overall message might be like hope for the future, rebel against the man, which used to be pretty universal. We all want to hope for the future and rebel against the man. But there's not, none of the characters are like overt heroes. Maybe Chase Infiniti, maybe the young gal, she's the most. But all of the adults are,
flawed,
compromised, flawed at best. Some of them are downright bad. Like, Tiana Taylor is not a good person. Leo, in a lot of ways, is not a good person. They all make mistakes. Like, it's not glorifying this leftist, ultra leftist lifestyle. And so if you allowed that to color your opinion of the film, especially to the point that you wouldn't even go see it, that's stupid. That's stupid. So I think that's a big part of it, though. I think that's why it's like,
yeah, I thought I did, it crossed my mind, not about like the box office success, but just, is this like polarizing? Is this polarizing? And I guess if you lean really even one way or the other too far, like you could take issue with how Tiana Taylor is presented.
For
and,
sure,
like,
I read some reviews.
Yeah, like people can take issues with both sides of this if they really wanted to, if you go in with that intent. So I guess it kind of crossed my mind that might be.
But that's the bigger subject is don't go in with that intent. Like that's what just don't. No one should. And that same point that you bring up is like I think one of the reasons you don't like this film, if you don't like this film, is you went into it and you probably go into most experiences in your life like through looking through your lens. And if you're on either end of the extremes in particular, you have the side over here that goes, oh, it's glorifying leftist anarchy, whatever, Antifa. And then on the other side, because I was like, when it first came out, I had like a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, let me go see the bad reviews from these top critics. And the two that were bad at that time were basically like the ultra leftist perspective, which is like, oh, and Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't know how to write women. He doesn't respect black women. Of course, Tiana Taylor's character is a strong black woman. So of course, in Paul Thomas Anderson's eyes, that makes her a sex addict and a bad mother. And you're like, no. That's just this character. Like it goes back to a conversation we've had many times where it's like, not every character is an avatar for that person's entire, whatever group they belong in on that day. So I think both of those perspectives are really stupid, and you should be able just to go and enjoy art. Doesn't mean like you can go in and watch a movie, this movie or any movie, and not love it, but just be like, not also be like, oh, I'm being preached to, because this film is not preachy.
Yeah, I don't think this film is preachy. There are films that are.
Yeah.
And those are, no one wants to be preached to on any version of anything. So I get the concern, but it's not, I don't know. I don't think that that's what this film is doing. It's unfortunate for film lovers.
Yes.
Because as I started this episode by saying I think this is the thing that everybody wins at in terms of pop culture, general audiences, and film lovers. This is that intersection.
Yeah.
The zenith, perhaps?
That's
the right way to describe it. And because this movie wasn't a $1 billion success, the confidence in these type of movies will probably dwindle, and we'll go back to, special effects and superstars. The Rock doing Black Adam 2 is probably being written right now because of this.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I'm hopeful that maybe maybe if it does great at the Oscars, that can help tame some of that I'm sure the sweating going on at Warner Brothers, where it's like Warner Brothers especially, who's made such terrible movies over the last, like has lost so much money to the point where they're probably going to sell. My God. Like, I don't want them to get the wrong impression. Like, keep making these movies, Warner Brothers. I also wanted to mention, I'm really, it's an interesting time that we're getting into now. I mean, both because of the fucking craziness going on in our own country and our own world, that like, it's exciting in a way that film and like really talented, interesting filmmakers are kind of starting to make movies that exist in this present time and sort of speak directly or indirectly to things that we see on the news today. Which I haven't felt in a while, right? Like I made me think, I don't know if you watched the film Eddington by Ari Aster with Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal. I thought of that a little bit during this movie. That movie's set right in the throes of the pandemic and deals with online, extremization and I haven't seen Begonia yet, the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie, but that looks like it's kind of dealing with today's stuff as well. And I'm excited by that. I'm excited that some of our best storytellers are kind of starting to dip their toes into like the situation going on around us every day, because it's fucking crazy out there.
Do you think that this is not what this show should probably be about, but do you think that's helpful or hurtful? Because it feels hurtful.
No, I think it's always
together.
I mean, hurtful to who?
And getting past it. Huh?
Who's hurt by it?
I just think it drives people further away if you start to present the hellscape that we're living in to people who are happy about the hellscape that we're living in. It continues to just drive people apart. We should cut this whole thing. It's just too much. But
no, it's part of it. I think that there's value in talented storytellers, not like we were saying, not like preachy, like talking down, pandering shit, but like talented.
But that's how people on either side are always going to perceive.
Yeah, but they're going to do that no matter what. So the solution to that shouldn't be like, don't make the art, because everyone's going to put their own bullshit and project their own shit onto it no matter what. Like, that's always the case. You're not going to win. You should still make the art that helps accurately from your own perspective as a storyteller, share what's going on. I think it's exciting and interesting. And I think that this is the kind of movie that can do that well, because in a normal world, which we don't always live in, I think this movie very intentionally makes Leo, who's like this old hard left revolutionary, now he's the old guy. He's the middle-aged dad who doesn't understand pronouns and is like, what are all these freaks doing out here? And like, that whole sequence was very funny too. You good homie? You good homie?
Yeah.
Like, all that stuff.
This is how I want to raise my daughter.
Yeah.
I was just like taking notes. Like,
yeah.
Them?
It's like, anything you do to her.
Whatever you do to her, I'm going to fucking do to you. I love
kill
it.
you.
I love every second of it.
Yeah. It's like, no, we're good. We're just talking. We're talking.
It's great. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so good. But I mean, so I think that part of his character is intentionally to like appeal to folks who might be more of like wait a minute, is this pro Antifa, to be like, oh yeah, I see myself in him a little bit. I understand some, and like that's what good storytelling should do. It's a big tent, we shouldn't ever create or not create based on the whims of the fucking extremes. Because they're always going to be mad, and they're always going to be yelling, and they're always going to be the victim. Make the art.
I would love it to bring people together rather than be another reason to divide people. That's my only concern. But I don't disagree. Like, all different stories need to be told. All different art needs to be expressed in different mediums. Like that, it needs to happen. Different voices. I'm all for it. It just shouldn't be one thing and not the other thing. That I agree with. I just don't want it to be another thing to drive people apart. I would love for people to come together. Crazy idea.
Yeah, well, everyone needs to stop being a piece of shit. Everybody except for me is so stupid. God. I've got it figured out.